What is up, jumpers? Dave here from Crossrope, and today I'm going to discuss some techniques to help you count your jump rope repetitions. There's no one right way to do a jump rope workout. You can jump for time, you can jump for repetitions. There's all sorts of different ways to do it. But for the workouts that we like to share, we do find some benefit in having jumping sets where there's a certain number of repetitions associated. And so with that, it's helpful for you to have a couple of tips and tricks to help you more effectively count your jump rope reps so that you don't get frustrated by losing count. So that's what I'm going to cover today. But if you have not checked out our thriving jump rope fitness community, please join our free 30-day challenge at the link below to join thousands of other jumpers if you're interested in jump rope fitness for helping you to achieve your goals. And of course, the second link below is a link to our product. So if you're looking for a great quality jump rope, check out that second link. So for counting your repetitions, there's a couple different ways that you can try and see what works best for you. And remember, at the end of the day, it's nice to be able to count. If you lose count, it's not a big deal. You're still working out, you're still jumping. That's more than most people can say. Nonetheless, we like to do some of our challenges and some of our workouts with repetitions 50, 100, 250, 500, or even 1,000 jumps. And it can be difficult to keep track of that when you're jumping if you don't have a little bit of practice and a little bit of a strategy. And jumping rope is kind of, it's a good exercise for mental acuity as it is. And so adding, just because of the coordination element, so adding the ability to count while you're jumping will also have some additional benefits. So the first technique that I use is counting by tens. And this is what it works, what it sounds like. To the first 10, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But instead of continuing and saying 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then you get up to 225, 226, 227, it becomes too difficult, even if you're just counting it quietly in your head, to kind of keep track of that. So using the tens method, you count to 10, and then you start over and you say the complete number when you get to the end of the next 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. And so on and so forth. And so doing that makes it easier to have this rhythm and this consistency around counting to 10. And with a little bit of practice, you'll be able to remember which tens you're on. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 250, 260, and it becomes easier. So I'll go ahead and actually demonstrate with the rope. And you can practice if you want saying this out loud. And then ultimately, if you're jumping in front of other people or you just don't want to count out loud, you can practice it in your head. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Again, it's not particularly complicated, but just by counting consistently to 10 every time and then remembering which 10 you're on, does make it a much more easy and accurate way to count up into the hundreds and even all the way up to 1,000. That's the same technique that I use when I'm doing performance-based challenges around getting to a certain number, 500, 1,000, 2,000. The second method that you can try using is basically counting every other foot. And this one isn't necessarily completely exclusive from the first method. You can use this alternating foot method in tandem with that first method. But the idea with this second counting method is that if you're doing anything that involves faster repetitions where it's difficult to count that quickly, if you're counting every other foot and then multiplying it by 2, it's easier to keep track. And then whatever number you get to, you're doubling that number. So for example, I'm going to count if I'm alternating feet, I'm going to count every time my left foot hits the ground. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. When I've done 5, according to my count, I've actually done 10 repetitions. And this is usually used with an alternate foot step technique, although you can do the same thing even with even counting every other jump on your bounding if it makes it easier for you. So I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. So I counted to 20. It was easy to maintain that count even as the rotation of the rope increased. And so now I know that I did 40 jumps. The final method is the approximation method. So if you are jumping for a prolonged period of time, say you just want to jump freestyle for 5 or 10 minutes, you've worked, you've built up, you don't really feel like counting, but you want to have a general idea of how many repetitions or shoot towards a particular goal, then what I'd recommend is getting a baseline for the pace that you're going to be jumping at. So say, for example, you want to jump for 5 minutes at a moderate pace for you. You'll set your timer for a minute, and this first time you'll count the number of repetitions that you have. So you'll be jumping at a comfortable pace that's the same pace that you feel you're normally going to jump at during 5 minutes of jumping. Even if you mess up and make a mistake, that's okay. Just pick back up, because everybody makes mistakes when they're jumping, so even an occasional miss in your initial round is going to be helpful in getting a gauge of how many jumps you can do at that moderate pace within a minute. So let's say, for the sake of argument, you do 120 repetitions in a minute. Now you have a baseline so that when you jump for a longer period of time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you can just multiply that pace by the number of minutes that you jumped. If you want to get an estimate of how many repetitions you did, or if you're trying to determine the amount of time that you need to jump at that pace in order to get the repetitions. So there is a little bit of math involved. I hate involving math in workouts, but it's another option for you if you don't want to count every single repetition but still have a sense of how many jumps you're completing. So again, to recap, the first way is the tens method. You're counting to 10 each time and then counting out the multiple of 10 that you're at as you're progressing all the way up to the number that you're trying to achieve. You can count every other step or even every other jump and then double the number, especially if you're rotating the rope faster. And for the final one, as an approximation, you can get an estimate at your given pace of how many jumps you can complete in a minute, even with misses, and then multiply that by the number of minutes that you jump. Let me know if you found this helpful. Again, remember, the exact repetition number is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that you are jumping rope and having fun doing it.